The Black Widow, Daisy de Melker, was South Africa's first female serial killer. She became an icon of evil at a time when it was unheard of for a woman to be a murderer. Although her case is well documented, it is believed that the true extent of her crimes and her cold-blooded nature is still unknown. Hey guys, I release new videos every week, so please subscribe for more. And if you have any suggestions or criticism, please leave it in the comments down below. Daisy de Melker was born in 1886 in what was then the dusty small village of Grahamstown. She was one of 11 children and was overlooked by her family on more than one occasion. It is believed that this is what helped her hide her true nature. When Daisy was 10, she was sent with many other people who were leaving Grahamstown at the time to Rhodesia, where she would meet with her father and brother. The particulars of the trip is unknown, but many records say that it was with an ox and wagon, and it was almost 2,000 kilometers across. Daisy attended a farm school until she was 13, which is when she left to Rhodesia to attend a boarding school in Cape Town. In 1903, she returned to Rhodesia for a short time, before she left to Durban to attend a nursing school. This is where she would gain her skills with medicine and learn how different chemicals affect the human body. While Daisy was studying, she spent holidays with her family in Rhodesia. This is where she met Bert Fuller, who many believe was Daisy's first victim. Bert and Daisy got engaged and by all accounts were madly in love with each other. However, Bert soon became extremely ill and died with Daisy at his bedside. His cause of death was an extremely rare interaction between the malaria virus and the malaria virus vaccine. It would later be noted that the symptoms of this interaction were very similar to the symptoms of poisoning. Daisy also benefited from Bert's death financially. When he asked her to marry him, he also made her the beneficiary of his life insurance policy, which paid out £100 when he died, the equivalent of 100,000 rand today. Daisy stayed single for the next few months while she was living in Johannesburg. There she met and within 18 months married her first official victim, William Cowell. They lived in Turffontein for the next few years. During this period, Daisy would give birth to 5 children, with only one of them surviving to adulthood. While child death was very common at the time, there is also proof that Daisy was showing significant signs of mental illness, with one of the children showing signs of poisoning before death. William, due to his nature of manual work, often had aches and pains. Daisy would dose these ailments regularly with Epsom salts. However, on the morning of January 11, 1923, William told his wife that the salts had made him feel worse, at which time she called him a doctor. The doctor prescribed bromide to William and left. Throughout the day, William got worse, and a second doctor was called in. The second doctor arrived to find William turning purple and foaming at the mouth. He passed before he could be examined. This new doctor was more suspicious and refused to sign the death certificate under suspicion of poisoning. He had to, however, when the autopsy returned, showing death by chronic kidney failure. Daisy cashed out her second life insurance payout, a sum which would have made her a millionaire in today's currency. Daisy and her only surviving child, Rhodes, lived in the same home for the next few years, at which time Rhodes outgrew his childlike charm and Daisy's affection for him faltered. Their relationship soon became tumultuous. Daisy then met her second husband, Robert Sproat. Within months of meeting her, he proposed, and they got married on the anniversary of William Cowell's death. While Daisy and Robert got along well, Rhodes was not pleased with his new stepfather, and they argued regularly. About 2 years after the wedding, Robert began to fall ill. He was experiencing vomiting and convulsing. At this time, Daisy requested that Robert make her the sole beneficiary of his will, which he agreed to. After the change was made to the will, Robert made a miraculous recovery. His newfound health didn't last long, and a few months later, while enjoying a beer prepared by his wife, he fell violently ill with the exact same symptoms. This time, he didn't recover. He passed, tied down to his own bed, because the convulsions were so severe. Daisy received over £4,000 from her husband's estate, which is the present-day equivalent of about R4.5 million. Daisy spent the next 4 years spoiling herself and her son until she met her final husband, Sidney de Melker. They were soon married, and Daisy took the surname we all would come to know her by. During this time, Rhodes and Daisy's relationship continued to fall apart. On March 2nd, 1932, while working, Rhodes drank out of a flask of coffee that his mother had prepared for him. He became violently ill, but soon recovered. On a second attempt at his life, however, Daisy succeeded in poisoning him, and she stood at his bedside as he died an excruciating death. The official cause of death recorded, however, was malaria, believed to have been contracted while he was working in Swaziland a few months earlier. After Rhodes' death, the brother of Daisy's late husband, Robert Sproat, whose name was William Sproat, got suspicious and went to the police. They began to notice the pattern of deaths and exhumed the bodies of her son and her previous 2 husbands. Signs of poisoning were found on all 3. The final nail in the coffin for Daisy was when a pharmacist who had previously sold her arsenic walked into the police station with evidence of her purchase. A widely publicized trial followed, and while there wasn't enough evidence to convict Daisy of the murders of her 2 husbands, there was enough evidence to convict her of the murder of her son. Daisy de Melker received the death sentence, and on 30th December 1932 was hung to death. I release new videos every week, so if you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or criticism, please leave them in the comments down below. Until next time, this is Darklight Productions, signing off.